Hey folks, how you doing? So we're 162 days into Trump's presidency. 162 in numbers is a very important number in many ways. One of those is I met Ivanka Trump when I can pinpoint the numbers starting. I met her on the 162nd day of the year back in 2015, which was 5 days before her father Donald and Melania came down the escalator and POTUS, and they had the press conference, and also it's another important day that came up is September 3rd, and that was mentioned in the film Clueless tonight, actually, which I haven't seen for a long time, but I watched that tonight, and I had an interesting experience. So today's been a fascinating day as always. I say as always, they always are, but definitely in the last week or two, with the wonderful sunshine here, discovering new things about all of this, or reconfirming things in a quite clear, comforting, brave. You have to be brave in it. You have to be brave. Brave is 48, Tom. So I have to use that number. But going forward. Hey Diane. I had brunch with Matt today, Latis. So we did a show. That's on my Twitter and TikTok, so check that out. Hey, New Jersey, nice one. So I saw a post from actually. So this whole thing of the simulation, which I've been talking about on and off for a few years now. But there's a lot more people catching on to it, and there's some really great videos out there right now that are like the shorts on TikTok and Twitter, and I guess Insta as well, YouTube. So there was a woman that I saw, and I retweeted it, I think early hours of this morning, and Matt brought it up because I've mentioned the simulation to him before, but I think that video, the way she said it was very good, and she just basically said that we're binary, our DNA is binary, and she said that scientifically proven. I mean, in the film Interstellar, the communication between the Tesseract 143, the Tesseract, Paul Bushnell 143, started with Paul and Ivanka. He's sending the codes back to his daughter through binary. And I haven't really studied binary, but I'm going to look into it more. I did the numbers on binary earlier, and I can't remember what they are. I have to check again. But she basically said, yeah, we're this simulation, and we get to hey Karen, great to see you, and we get to be the programmers of our own program, which I've talked about before. But the way she put it was a very elegant, elegant, succinct, but punchy. It was on point. Her character in the Matrix in this whole movie is quite forceful, quite punchy, but it was accurate. It was on point. And so it resonated with me, and Matt saw it because it came up on his feed on Twitter when I retweeted it. So we chatted about that, which was cool. And my mum got to chat to Matt actually today, which was cool. So I had a good chat with my mum at the weekend, and yeah, that was fun. That was good. We both had a good conversation. She was able to thank him for the things he's done throughout this time. And I think it was a meeting of intellects, because my mum is very bright. I think that's where I get my drive and my ambition and my kind of competitiveness and sporty and masculine traits from my dad, and my intellect, and even being so I mean, I get it from both my parents. I'm a mix of both, but I always joke and say my high cheekbones are from my mum. Well, I don't always say that, but I said that to her recently. Anyway, so it was a meeting of the minds. I think that appreciated. I just thought they would get on, and they did. They got on really well. So, anyway, that being said, so then I saw a tweet from Cab. Do you know Cab on Twitter? So he looks like he's kind of a contactee with Galactic Federation, and his stuff is really interesting. So I've followed him for a while, and when things pop out and it resonates. But anyway, he basically talked about this thing of the principle of, I guess you could call it a celestial chamber, and how we're maybe eons away, but we're plugged in, kind of like the Matrix, but like I guess a divine version of it, and we're living this dream. And he talked about how the soul is intact, and despite whatever happens here, your soul is intact, and this is a learning virtual reality experience. So there's a lot of this stuff coming out now, which is really cool, because it's comforting when you see it from that perspective. And I'm seeing that in just the last kind of maybe 10 days or so, just kind of letting go of more things and just experiencing what's going on. So something else happened tonight, which I relayed to you, was so I just got something to eat just after the movies, and where I go, I haven't been there for maybe just under a week, but there's a guy that turns up with a dog, like a really aggressive dog, and which is a bit weird. It's just antisocial, it's not really needed, but he brings the dog really close to the shop, and then it's almost like a stand down with him and the dog, and it's not really needed, it's just not necessary. Thing is, with animals, so I've noticed so much with animals that they just want to come over and talk to you and stuff, you know, be around you. So I get that with the kids, I get that with random people, I get that with dogs, and it's great. But every now and again, it's almost like some animals, like some people, can still be possessed. And so it was weird. So I saw this guy, and he clocks me. That's the thing, he clocks me. And he apologized a few weeks ago when he kind of did it, but it's unnecessary. But it's almost like this sort of a bit of a demented demonic attention thing. And I've picked up on this before with other people, entities, and I recognize it, and they recognize me. Not in terms of Tom numbers, but they recognize my signature. Maybe they do, but I don't mean it from a perspective of me as a YouTuber. They see who I am as a being, and so it rattles them, and they have to kind of do their thing. Starseed, yeah, Starseed's 91, future, POTUS, mirror, spirit, the Father, liberty, Space Force. I just said that one. But anyway, this is what happened. So I sat down the other end of the restaurant just to kind of get out of the way. You know, a wise man gets out of the way. So, you know. Anyway, so his dog is doing its usual yapping, and then I'm about to leave the restaurant, and I'm thinking, I've got to kind of bypass, I've got to navigate coming out of the restaurant, this dog that's going to be outside waiting. And then I see a whole bunch of other people come in, and I'm thinking, oh, it looks like, because the guy's waiting to get his food, he's come in, because usually he waits outside with the dog. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe, because people come in and they don't seem to be affected. So I was like, oh, the dog's probably tied up somewhere. Anyway, I'm coming along and he sees me. So I'm exiting and he sees me, and I don't really want to kind of get into I don't really want to kind of engage energetically with him. But he's there and he sees me and I see him, and he knows, you know. Anyway, this is what happened, guys and girls. And I've not experienced one of these for a long time, and not in this way, but I knew what it was. So he literally caused a power cut. He caused a power cut. If you've seen the film Ghost, you know when Patrick Swayze sees the entities and he sees the ghosts, and the kind of weird looking guy on the subway that kind of almost befriends him later, kind of neutralizes, but he's a bit weird at first. It's a bit like that. If you can extrapolate that, that's the sort of character it is. And they're permitted, they can't like overstep, but they're just there and kind of and do their thing. But he basically caused a power cut. So we're in the restaurant, I'm literally coming up to him, and I'm trying to just go past him without kind of getting in, you know, each other's space, but it's kind of difficult to do because he's right there. But I'm just, you know, keeping my being, my presence to myself. But he can see I've noticed him, and he knows, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, but then the power goes. He cut the power off, and everything went. It was like, and I thought it was just the shop, but he cut the power off of the street. And I text my friend just after it happened, and then I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm looking up, there's a half moon, which I haven't seen the moon for a few nights, but it's out tonight, it's half moon. And it's literally black, and then it's white, it's the half moon, it's like dark to light. And I was like, okay, and I was like, this is what this guy's done. He's cut the power through his ability. But it's weird, it's demented, it's this. But there's also, it's like there's a sort of, it's yeah, it's the narrative of the principle of the film Ghost. There's kind of a respect there, but it's also a bit like it's unnecessary because he's just kind of barking energetically, effectively. So he cuts the power for all of about a minute and a half because I've come out, I've got into the car, I'm putting the roof down, and then people are opening windows. They're like, "Oh, there's a power cut." And then I'm like, "Okay, how long is this going to go on for?" And then it came back on, but I knew it was him that did it. And the thing is, no one else in the shop knows what had gone on. He knew. It's a bit like in Highlander. Maybe, but it's aggressive though, Diana. That's the only thing, Diana. That's the only thing. It's aggressive, you see. So there's something there. It's I'm noticing it. I've had those sorts of things before with those types of characters. But it is a bit aggressive and it's a bit messy. So I'm waiting for the ones where like the pure light is just not with the kind of aftermath of a tinge. Anyway, I thought about it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to share it with you guys and girls, because the thing is, this sort of stuff is going to continue to happen and get more and more. But also with it, there's nothing to fear. Like, I'm not fearful of it. I just acknowledge I've noticed it. I know what's gone on. And so I just report it to you guys and let you know. But that's what it was. And the thing is, no one else in the shop knows what's gone on. It's a bit like in the film Highlander. So you've got Connor McLeod, sorry. And then there's these other entities that come from, the ones that like there can be only one. It's like these are time travelers and they're eternal, and they're fighting, they're doing their kind of match off, their standoff. But the rest of the world is oblivious to it. And then a few catch in on it, like the kind of love interest that he has, she starts to figure it out. But no one else knows what's gone on, and no one else in the shop knows what's gone on. But I know what's gone on. And he's done it literally as I've got within about a minute. I was just going past him, and then everyone's like, "Oh, the lights have gone out," and I was like, "What's that?" I thought someone turned the lights off, but he'd literally cut the power, and then he went, "Power cut." I was like, okay. And then I see it's outside and the lights are off, and I'm like, okay, he did that, and I know he did that. So yeah, it's not fearful, but it's just acknowledging this is what we're going into. So the game is going to get more and more like this. But my point is, when we've got pure hearts, we have the shield of faith, and we go through. I've had far more things than that in the past during this whole episode, but it's interesting that they're popping up again, and it's just acknowledging it. And then it's like, okay, yeah, it is what it is. But that was a funny one because I've not had it quite like that before. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to share that with you. It's something a bit out of the ordinary. Well, it is out of the ordinary, but it's commonplace as well. I mean, it's becoming more commonplace. But also with that, we're going to get good visitations. And it's the thing. It's not really even a bad visitation, but it's a messy one. It's clunky. There's a tinge of aggressiveness, but there's also a respect to it. He's like kind of wanting to. But also with that, I'm like, okay, I observe it, but I don't need to get embroiled in that stuff. But I'm also ready for the John Professor X School of the Gifted. I'm ready for that, ladies and gents. You know I am. They're listening. I'm ready for that whenever that's available. So I can't read. Sorry, Diane, you have to say, or whoever that was. Can you copy and paste and put your question up again? Because I just caught it, but I didn't get to read it, and it's kind of dark. So if you put it up again, I can answer the question. Tom, you're getting lost in it all, mate. No, I'm not, Ted. No, I'm not at all. So you're a troll, so we'll block you in a second. Let's go between waiting since I enjoy your content, but Tom, that's okay. Don't worry, Ted. You don't need to be on here, mate. Ted Valentine. That's an actor, I think. Is it? No, that's Ted Levine. Yeah, I know what I'm on about, mate. So you don't need to worry. And I think you're a troll, so I'll just block you. And that's the other thing, the kind of gaslighting, being silly like that, but then saying, I really like you. That's okay, mate. Don't worry. I'm being honest as well. I'm the one telling the truth. So it's all right. Yeah, but well, you're an attitude of a troll, so I'll just get rid of you, mate. So don't worry about that. You'll be gone in a second. This is a no troll zone, so yeah. I'm dealing with other stuff like that. They're coming up, so a little digital troll like that, you've got no chance, mate. So don't worry about it. I'll say, Livy, you're gone. Diane, did you have a big question for us? See, this is it. Okay, hang on. Let's can I get him? Yeah. I'm gonna see you, mate. You're gone. Okay. So he's gone. Ted the troll's gone. Can you pull it up again, Diane? Because it just flashed up for a second and it went. So see, the thing is, this is the point, because I'm hitting the nail on the head about realities that are taking place about 35 minutes ago, and telling you about it now. So even on the feed, because we even had a problem yesterday on the live feed. I did a show 10-12 minutes, and then it only went up for 35 seconds. Can you put your question up again, Diane? Because it only literally, I was blocking the other guy, and it only flashed up for a sec. Can you put it up again? So we got 48 in the chat, 22 thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. We know the war is going on in the angelic realm. Yes, it is. How do we know that this is not can catch the last of it? It is. So that's the other thing. So when my mum, that's a good question. So when my mum spoke to Matt Letitia today, she asked him, because Matt became a Christian in the last couple of years. He wasn't before. And there's a lot of people doing that. And a lot of people just come, you don't have to be Christian per se, but some feel the need to go to a church or declare they are or not, or just all kinds of spirituality is getting awoken in people. And my mum asked Matt, said, what made you, what made you decide to do that? And he said, and he's told me that before, but it was a good reminder. He just said he realized when all this started and was going on, that it was clearly a war between good and evil, which is what it is, and that's going on in the realms, and that's why it's happening here, and that's why we're getting entities and beings of both sides coming and visiting and testing and doing all the rest of it. And so it was just a really good thing that Matt said. He just said he knew that it was a battle between good and evil, between forces of good and evil. Yeah, they are. That's it. Everyone's waking up in their own way. And he realized that's what it was, and so he decided to become a Christian, which is great. I know I've said that about him before, so Saint Matt decided for him what the thing that he needed to do or wanted to do for him was to become a Christian, which is great. So and Christ is power, 77. Hertz is 77, as in frequency, the unit of frequency. And so everything's frequency, but we're learning all of this. We're learning all these things, but it's exciting. It's anything is possible, folks. That's the thing. The game is so now it's blending between the reality, the dimensions are blending. We're seeing things we hadn't seen before. Yeah, people are getting UFO sightings. They're seeing other. It's great. It's great. It's feeling like 2020 again, but in a kind of different way. It is. It's coming. That's it, Alex. Hey, good to see you, mate. It's there you go, Kelly. Nice one. I did a show with a guy called Terry Kelly today, actually, as well, which will go out probably tomorrow. So look out for that. And we had some nice synchronicities, and he brought up. You'll see the video. You'll see the video. So you know that I discovered I was in the movie Titanic. I mean, my name was, but hey, timelines are blending. Hey, Sue, great to see you. Nice, Diane, good, yeah. But anyway, you'll see that Terry, the new guy that I've done the show with, he brought up a film that Tom Numbers is in as well, and he didn't know that, but he brought it up. So anyway, folks, I wish you a wonderful evening, and enjoy it. If you have any kind of Patrick Swayze ghost moments, embrace it. be protected. You know, boundaries. President Trump has always said we need borders, we need boundaries. He's not just talking about the border wall. He's talking about all kinds of boundaries and borders. It doesn't mean be a hermit, but he's just go forward with faith, with the shield of faith, and you'll be fine. Hey, Jay, is that Jay? Yeah, hey. Oh, bless. And it's exciting because we're on track. That's the thing. We're on track. And I spoke to my mum at the weekend, and I said, I noticed that some of the digits in her phone number, and I said, oh, well, 77 is Christ and 88 is Trump. You add them together as 165, resurrection. And that kind of blew her mind, really. She knows how I feel about it. She's not, you know, on the same, exact same wavelength, but she believes in Christ, and she's seeing that her son is preaching the good word of President Trump. Anyway, as I said that to her, the phone rang on top of the phone call that we were already having. So it was her ringing me again while we were already on the same call, and it hadn't hung up. And I said to her, that's the sort of stuff that happens. When I hit the nail on the head, I'll get something like that happen. And it will happen in real time, instantly. And so, but there'll be more of that for my mum. She'll get more of those, and she'll see, you know. So that's the thing, that's the beauty of it. So, but whenever I confirm who President Trump is, Matt didn't realize, I've said it to him probably before, but I said to him today at breakfast, I said Frederick Christ Trump, and he went, hang on, Frederick Christ Trump? President Trump's father was called Christ. I was like, yeah. Anyway, so Matt's, you know, going through the layers, because the simulation was kind of something a few months ago hadn't really considered, but now he's on to that. And now he knows. We had a good chat about Q, witness protection, Diana. So Saint Matt is continually growing in stature in this, which is fantastic. So it's great. It's great to have him as a mate and having him on our team, and you know, it's brilliant. So anyway, lots of love, folks. Matt is 54, which is he's not age 54, but 54 is love, which is son, which is there you go. He is getting deeper. He is, because the thing is, Matt's a good guy. He's got a good heart. You know, people can tell that, and he's getting deeper and deeper, which is great. So I did another clip of the F1 film. There's a part in the film which is like the kind of Rocky montage bit where it's great. I love that film. I've seen it 6 times already. I'll see it a few more times. And they say combat. C is for combat. Combat is 54, which is love, which is orbs, which is scalar, which is sun. So it's like, how do the righteous fight? They fight with love. They fight with purity. And President Trump projects strength. You know, you win through projecting strength. If you be prepared for war, but then you don't even, you know, the art of the deal, the art of war, you don't even have to fire a bullet, you know, effectively. And fake news is, you know, they're using it on, you know. So, but anyway, just, it's a really exciting time. I feel, it reminds me a lot of 2020, in a different way, but it's got that kind of feel and flavour to it, which is fantastic, because I loved 2020. All the, you know, there was still plenty of stuff all through the other years, but it kind of blended it almost into one, the pause. But 2020 was so monumental, and there's a feeling of right now in that vicinity. It's different, but it's got that kind of flavour, which I love. So anyway, folks, I will see you tomorrow, and God bless you. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Kelly. You take care. Much love. Bye.